Hi, a very welcome back to a humble Highland home here in the Highlands of Scotland on this gorgeous sunny day. You would not think that the weather forecast for tomorrow is for wintry showers, just looking at the sunshine today. But it's with that in mind that I've changed what I was going to do today in this video. I had originally planned to be planting seeds. However, that's more of a rainy day job for me. So while it is so nice outside, I've got a few other jobs that I need to get done. Just have to show you, just look how gorgeous it is. So I've got a few tools out ready for the jobs that I'm going to be doing today. I've got quite a few daffies still waiting to bloom. We're always a bit later with our daffodils. Here I am in the top kitchen garden that is in lots of development stages. So today I want to turn my compost. Now, I don't turn my compost very much, maybe twice, 3 times a year, but I'm okay with that. That works for me. There are some benefits for not turning your compost very often. One, it's a lot less work, and 2, in my opinion, it stops so much carbon being put back into the atmosphere. Composting really is a win-win situation for the environment, for your garden, but also financially as well. So I aim to turn my compost today, and then I will do it again maybe late in a couple of months, and then I will do it again hopefully in time for autumn winter, that I'll have some good quality compost to use back in the garden. That's the plan. So this is the inside of my compost bay. Most people have either seen it or heard me speaking about it before. It was designed by Adam, including a gas strut from the boot of an old Ford KA. Adam put this on afterwards because the lid is quite heavy, and I found when it was in the upright position it was at risk of falling in on me. So Adam engineered this, and it works an absolute treat. This is what happens when you've got engineers in the family. It's great. So I've also brought up with me some wood ash, otherwise known as potash, and also some ground up chicken egg shells, which I'm also going to add in for the added calcium into the compost. By grinding it up, it really helps it decompose into the compost rather than just adding an entire eggshell, which can take a good length of time before it will break down. Now, I've spoken before in my other video about 10 different uses that I have for wood ash in and around the croft. And one of them was adding to the compost. Now, it can have a liming effect, so make sure that you do your own research and your own homework to what works best for you. However, in this area, I know that rhododendrons and azaleas really thrive well in this soil, which gives me a big indication that the soil is quite acid-based. So by adding any lime-based products can help to neutralize the acidity in the soil. But if you're in any doubt, just do your own pH test and see what works for you. Have a look what else grows in the area, what is thriving in the area, and that will give you a good indication of the conditions that those type of plants like. So I'm happy adding the wood ash to the compost bin, giving it a good stir, ready to be used back into the garden later on in the year. Now I use a layering system with my compost, so there should be equal amounts of browns and greens as the compost is built up. Let's have a look, see if we can see it. So I can see there some grass clippings, and then some leaves, and then we've got some household compost that's come from the kitchen. So I can see, I'm happy with that layering system there. So that's the compost bay empty. Now we've got a base on our compost bin right down at the bottom. It does have holes in it for drainage and so that the worms can get up, but the reason why we have a base is because we live in an area that badgers will dig underneath the compost bin to get at the scraps, so we try and prevent that, and that's why we have a base in the bottom of the compost bin. But if we look over here, that's the compost that's been turned. There's no sign of the wood ash, which is how I know that I've got the right amount in there, and there's healthy signs of worms helping to break down the organic matter. If you were to be taking the temperature, you would put the thermometer in the middle of the compost bin, and you would be looking for a temperature between 32 degrees centigrade and 60. Between them temperatures, around about 60 degrees centigrade, would be killing off any pathogens or any weed seeds. The level of this compost will drop down quite considerably by the time it is good for use in the garden. So in my previous video that I made about the 10 different uses that I use of wood ash, I had mentioned about using it as a root vegetable storage for over winter time. So this wood ash here now has just reminded me of that. So let's go and dig it up and see if my experiment worked. So this is where I dug the hole in autumn time. Now I will leave a link below to the video that I did in autumn time. But here I dug the hole and I'd lined it out with wood ash, and I'd layered it with wood ash and with the potatoes that I'd grown just to see how it would overwinter for future ways of storing our root vegetables. So I'm gonna have a look in here to see if it's worked. But I can see here that we've had some earth movement, so there might not actually be anything there. It might have been eaten by the local woodlice, but we shall have a look and see. Starting to get to the wood ash now. It seems to be very wet, but we have something there. So there's a potato that was stored autumn last year, and once that's had a wash, that will be absolutely fine. I am delighted, absolutely delighted. So that's definitely a method I would use again. However, I can see that it's very, very wet, so I might adapt that so that it doesn't get quite so wet, because the water would encourage moulding of the veg. So let me see what else I've got. But it's worked. A success! they look as fresh as the day that I put them in there. They're absolutely fine.
But the potato was rescued.
So I'm going to get finished up here, get on to my next jobs. But thank you so much for joining me here today. I really hope that this has been of some use to you. But for now, I will bid you a farewell. Keep it simple, and I will see you in the next video. Well, I guess the weather forecast was absolutely right. Welcome to the roller coaster of springtime in the Highlands of Scotland.